Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a very nice Friday. We have about a minute or two before we get started. I'm just going to set up everything on my end to make sure everything's going good. Uh, my plan today, since we're here a little bit early together, is I am going to read the prologue and chapter 1 of the Toadstool Bed and Breakfast. I'm not going to answer any questions or look at the comments while I'm reading because there's a couple Easter eggs in the story. So I want you to be able to follow along and be comfortable and just enjoy your time. Then, after I'm done reading, I'll take any questions. I have some really cute things to share with you. I have the sample with me. I also have, real quick, let's see if I can figure out a way to do this. I also have the spring sample with me. And a couple people said that they have never stitched from our charts before, and would I share what the charts look like so that way they could get an idea of that. So I printed them out and I'll be sharing those as well. So I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to kind of get in here and we can all hang out together. As you can see, I am in my kitchen. So this is kind of like an intimate chat today. I really wanted to be in my living room, but I couldn't figure out a way to make my computer work in there. All right, let's see. Jessica says, hello, friends. Looking forward to spending time with you today. Hi, Jessica. I hope you're good. I see you and your Christmas tree cakes. So many Christmas tree cakes. I absolutely love them. And this year I tried the chocolate ones for the first time. And then my husband got the tree brownies, and they're not the best, so they're just kind of in this basket just for cutes. Hi, Amy. I hope you're having a nice day. Hi, Jennifer. I hope you are doing well. Oh, look at this. It's our little friend of Menagerie of Stitches. Hi, you. I hope you're having a good day too. Feels good to see some familiar faces here today because I'm a little bit nervous about reading out loud because if you have downloaded the PDFs, you know Finn's story is not super long, but it's maybe a little bit more than I'm used to reading out loud. So this is the plan. It's now noon, so I'm just going to repeat it really quick. Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and today I'm going to be reading out loud to you the prologue and chapter 1 of the Toadstool Bed and Breakfast. So the Toadstool Bed and Breakfast is our current stitch along, and it features an innkeeper named Finn, and Finn is a fox. So I'm going to start by reading those two parts of the story for you. I'm not going to answer any questions or look at the comments while I do that because there are some Easter eggs and some hints built within the story. And I don't want to lose my momentum. But you are welcome to chat with each other, leave me questions, leave me comments, and I will get to all of them as soon as I'm done reading. After I'm done reading and I answer all your questions and comments, I have some cute stuff to share with you. The sample, so you can see it stitched. I'll hold it up so you can check it out really close to the camera, along with the spring sample. And then a couple people asked if they could see what the charts look like because they've never stitched TFPS before. So I think without further ado, since it's 12:02, let's go ahead and get started. If you are following along, I'm going to be starting here. So this is our prologue of how the fox became an innkeeper. You can also, of course, print it. And it looks like this if you have a printed copy. I actually did put it on my Kobo this morning, but I felt like it was a little bit easier to read from my iPad. All right, friends, let's get started. So, prologue, how the fox became an innkeeper. The proprietor of the Toadstool Bed and Breakfast is a young fox named Finnegan McFoxington. Finn, as his friends call him. Of course, now you are his friend, right? Did all the things any fox does. As a young kit, he learned from his mother how to build a safe and cozy den. She always had family and friends visiting. Her kitchen was the talk of the town, the place where the coffee was always on and all were welcome to follow their noses right on in. Finn grew up under that kitchen's famed wooden table, surrounded by neighbors and aunties, always hearing the prime gossip and learning how important it is to make others feel included. Soon Finnegan grew and could no longer curl up under the kitchen table, lulled to sleep by chatting voices in the background. He eventually went away to school, shared a studio apartment with members of an all-girl seagull band, did some traveling and stayed at raccoon run hostels all over the forest. But the urge to put down roots and create a place for everyone to feel welcome was never far from Finn's mind. Finn came back home, but found sharing a den with his mum again a bit stifling. Everything felt kind of small. I know I can relate to that after living with my parents again after college. He worked part time at a local bookshop and spent his evenings watching travel vlogs. Nothing calmed his restless fox energy more than a bed and breakfast walkthrough tour. His favorite part of vlogs was watching the hosts greet the incoming guests. While Finn's mom always said he was welcome to snooze on her couch, she suggested he talk to the realtors at As the Crow Flies Realty Company in town. Deep in her heart, she knew Finnegan was meant to share his warm personality with others. One day, after his shift at the bookshop, he buckled his helmet and he took his moped into town to visit As the Crow Flies Realty Company. Sipping tea from an antique silver cup, Finn bravely told the realtors his dream. He wanted a building big enough for no more than 4 guests, with land for a garden, located in an area with 4 seasons, and along a lesser known travel route. After their consultation, the crows took to the skies, talking amongst themselves and being very opinionated, as crows usually are. They wanted to find a great spot for Finn, but times aren't what they used to be, and on his budget, he might need a little bit of a fixer-upper. That's very relatable right now, too, right? The crows showed Finn the perfect little mushroom in need of a little bit of TLC located in the town of Mapleville. But the toadstool had enough yard to decorate for each season, a picket fence, and even an upstairs bedroom with a dormer window so guests could make a wish on a shooting star before bed. With a paw full of shiny things, he bought the toadstool and was given a silver key on a frayed black ribbon. With a solemnness only crows possess, the deal was done and Finn became the owner of the Toadstool Bed and Breakfast. He put on his helmet, jumped back on his moped, and headed back into town to tell his mother the news, escorted, of course, overhead by crows who all agreed this was a fantastic new start for Finnegan McFoxington. Next, he called on his friend Bradley Beaver of Build It Beaver Co., the town's only lumber yard and fix-it service. Finn and Bradley had been friends through the years. Bradley was a fellow under the kitchen table napper, and after their work shifts, they worked together pulling up carpet and finding beautiful original flooring. Finn asked Bradley, wouldn't guests prefer a nice soft carpet on their toes? Bradley's response was very vehement and cannot be shared for your gentle ears, so they decided to go with the wooden floors, okay? After many evenings of hard work, some tears, and questioning if he made the right decision, Finn is now ready to open the Toadstool B&B to the world. And that concludes the prologue. I kind of feel like I'm on Audible and I need to say, next chapter. All right, so now we are going to go with chapter 1. The toadstool greets his first guest. And this one is a little bit longer, so let me just take a sip of a drink real quick. Again, you can find this, I believe this is page 3 of the PDF that was released today. Okay, this is the good stuff. Finn set up his website, and when his paw hit publish, he had a moment of self-doubt. What if no one visits? What if I'm too off the beaten path? Is this the biggest mistake of my life? That moment, of course, turned into a restless night of tossing and turning. Finn fretted around the toadstool for a solid day, refreshing his email every 30 seconds before he eventually drove himself crazy. I can't do this. I need to get out of the house. So off he went on his moped into town. The town was bustling with lots of creatures running errands and waving hello to Finn. He had some books to return and some new ones to pick up from the local library. While he was looking over the new releases, his favorite librarian and friend, Maxine the Muskox, shambled over. Finn, it's so nice to see you today. Where have you been? Asked Maxine. I haven't seen you at game night. Finn sheepishly replied, "Well, Bradley and I have been working on my toadstool. I guess I got caught up on the renovations. I'm sorry." "Oh, come on. No apologies are needed. We were just worried. How is the toadstool coming along?" said Maxine. Finn then stuttered, I think it's ready for guests." "Finn! This is the best news ever. We have to have a toadstool warming party," said Maxine so loudly that all the surrounding patrons looked up to see what all the fuss was about. "Well, I guess we could have a toadstool party," Finn replied, warming up to the idea. "I'll make a group text and get some snacks." Maxine then suggested, "How about we make it a big potluck? You don't have to do anything except provide the toadstool." "Okay, you're on, Maxine." Finn left the library with a bag of new books and a pep in his step. A toadstool warming party would be just the thing to keep his mind off wondering if anyone would reserve a room at the B&B. Plus, it would be really nice to have time with his friends to catch up on everything he'd missed while he was working on the renovation. A week later, the toadstool's doorbell rang, and all evening long, guests came in. So many exclaimed, "You did it, Finn!" And "It's so much bigger on the inside than it is the outside." And "Finn, we are so proud of you." Everyone brought their favorite foods. Maxine brought her famous, huge step salad in a wooden bowl overflowing with bright greens. Pumpkin the Mouse made sure everyone had a hot cocoa in hand. Everyone was smiling, snacking, and having a great time. The toadstool warming party was a success. The next morning, while Finn swept up bits of confetti and cake sprinkles, his laptop pinged. Finn hummed and continued sweeping. Wait, it pinged! An email! Finn dropped the broom and raced over to check his messages. New reservation confirmed. A patron! Someone was coming to stay. The visitor's name was Marshmallow Marie Bunny, and she booked for 3 nights the following week. Suddenly, Finn was anxious again. Next week is so soon. Am I really ready for guests? Will Marshmallow Marie have everything she needs? He double-checked her reservation. Vegetarian, prefers a warm room, and has written in a request that she likes the outdoors. First things first, finish cleaning up. Finn spent the rest of the day cleaning the toadstool until it shone while thinking about all the ways he could make Marshmallow Marie feel comfortable. The week went by in a blur of airing out lots of fluffy bedding, dusting, filling the bird bath with fresh water, ordering beautiful carrots and cabbages from a local farm, and watching the weather with a wary eye. A storm was due to arrive right before Marshmallow Marie's arrival. Uh-oh. After another sleepless night, Finn thought to himself, no one tells innkeepers that you'll spend so many evenings worried. I'm going to need to buy a big box of sleepy time tea. Maybe Marshmallow Marie would like a plug-in kettle in her room. I can add a small basket of herbal teas and... Finally, he drifted off to sleep. The next morning came in a dark blue-gray of a storm on the horizon. Finn triple-checked the Turn Tramway's schedule. Marshmallow Marie's tram showed no delays, and she'd be met at the station by Bradley Beaver. Bradley frequently delivered lumber, and he had a spacious new truck with plenty of room for luggage. A few hours later, Finn heard the crunch of the gravel outside. Bradley had picked up Marshmallow Marie. His first guest was finally here. He opened the door to the Toadstool Bed and Breakfast just as snowflakes started falling from the sky. Hello, Miss Bunny. I'm Finnegan McFoxington, the innkeeper here at the Toadstool Bed and Breakfast. Come in, come in. It's cold out here. Please call me Marshmallow Marie. It's so nice to be here. I was worried I wouldn't be able to make it with the snow coming in. The weather wombat said it was shaping up to be the storm of the century. Let me bring your luggage up and get you settled in, Finn said as he shut the door behind her and Bradley. Bradley, feel free to make yourself a cup of coffee. I just brewed a fresh pot. Marshmallow Marie looked around curiously while climbing the stairs. The art in the hallway looks so familiar, she mused. Oh, I collect prints from the artist Bryson Bentley Badger. Do you know him? I love him, she enthused. He is one of my favorite painters, but I've never seen these before. Well, my mom's great aunt Clementine was good friends with Bryson. When I was restoring the toadstool, she brought by some of his early prints to display, Finn explained as he led Marshmallow Marie up the stairs. Here's your room. The doorknob sometimes sticks. I'm really sorry about that. Don't worry, it's part of the charm of not staying in a chain hotel, Marshmallow Marie said, laughing. Please settle in, make yourself at home. I added a hot water bottle next to the kettle if you'd like to use it at night, along with some cozy blankets that my friend Maxine the musk ox's family weaves. They are very warm. Like I said to Bradley, I have a fresh pot of coffee if you'd like to come down for a cup once you've settled in, or if you prefer, I can bring up a snack tray for you. I'd love to come down shortly. The living room window looks like the perfect spot to watch the snow. I'll be honest. It's my favorite part of the toadstool, Finn replied. There's a bookcase in the hallway on your way back down, he continued. Feel free to grab a paperback or two. The snow started falling in earnest. Bradley was at the kitchen counter staring out the window. Do you think I could possibly stay tonight? I'm not sure driving would be the best idea. Finn's ears perked up, and suddenly the toadstool had two guests. The trio spent the evening enjoying a meal of warm sourdough baguettes, roasted carrots and fennel, and a hearty cabbage and wild rice soup. Dinner started a bit awkward, as first meals sometimes do, but they soon found they all appreciated the same books and had several friends in common. By the time their bellies were full, they were laughing and enjoying each other's company like longtime pals. Always the outdoorsman, Bradley suggested they venture outside to check out the snow. It had accumulated in big drifts all over the toadstool. As Finn was breaking the ice on the bird bath, something whacked him on the shoulder. Hey, no fair, he yelled as he was pelted by snowballs that Bradley and Marshmallow Marie threw. You can't gang up on the innkeeper. They looked remorseful for only about 1 minute. Then, cackling, started throwing snowballs again. Finn got in on the action, and soon no one knew whose side they were even on anymore. After laying down flat in his puffy, squishy coat, huffing and puffing and catching snowflakes on his tongue, Finn thought to himself, this is it. This was my goal, to welcome new friends into my home. Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery would like to thank Christy Underwood, and Belinda Shreve for their editing of Finn's story for you. And I hope you have enjoyed this reading. I'm now going to get caught up on your comments, and then I will share the things I have for you. I hope you enjoyed some of the little Easter eggs that I kind of tucked in there. Now, if you're looking at the PDF on your tablet or phone, some of the characters you can click on their names and they'll bring you to an existing pattern. So, for example, Marshmallow Marie and Pumpkin the Mouse, those are available for, I think, $4 or $5.95 on our Patreon, but I'd actually suggest holding off until we relaunch paid subscriptions to Patreon again, because it's only $3 a month and you can download all the charts. But if you have to have them right now, our Patreon store is open. There should be direct links to that. And then, of course, you know Clementine. She is our fox. You can click on her and it'll bring you to both of her patterns. And then, of course, Bryson Bentley Badger. This would not be a story without Bryson. He had to come into the story. So I wrote the story, and I'm sure most of you know my inspiration, Animal Crossing, Calico Critters, the amazing Shady Hollow book series by Juno Black. I did get a chance to read one of the Brambly Hedge books. There's just a lot of great, like, animal cute stories out there. And I'm not a professional writer, of course, nor am I an audiobook narrator, but I desperately wanted to write a short story to go along with the chart with Ashley, and this was our summer passion project. And I'm so happy that people got it and they wanted to hang out with us and stitch it. It's been a surprisingly pretty popular club. I wasn't sure because, it's kind of a weird time of year, but yeah, really happy with how it's going. So I'm going to now come to the comments and see what I'm missing because it looks like everybody's been busy chit chatting. Hi, Kylie. I hope you're having a good day. Hi, Hildy. I hope you're having a good day. Otter Disdain. Oh, Chiara. I love that name. That's so cute. Um, Jessica, you give Juno Black a run for their money. I definitely do not agree with that, but thank you. It's a great compliment. Kylie says, I bet Finn visited the Hollow in his travels. I mean, I wouldn't say no. And then our cute friend of Menagerie of Stitches says, these names are so cute. Bradley Beaver. This is the best story ever. I love Finn so much from Amy. Thank you. Game night. So I've always wanted to join like a tabletop game club. I felt like if I can't join one, then my character has to join one. Toadstool warming party. We had to do this. My paper crane yarn says TARDIS Toadstool. Yes. Kylie Van says Marshmallow Marie. Yes, I wanted to come up with like kind of cute little cozy names, like how Calico Critters names their animals the same thing, like with Jellycat, the stuffed animals, how they get named. um Thank you, Amy, for such a kind comment. She said that she loves hearing the story through my beautiful voice. Of course, now I'm starting to lose it. But thank you. It lasted for the story, so that's all that matters. Kylie says weather wombat. I don't know about you, but I'm dying to make a weather wombat. Like, I have always wanted to do two charts, a weather themed chart and a planetary chart. So maybe we can have a weather wombat at some point. Like, I just imagine him. I guess they don't do it anymore because everything is digital, but they used to have like the little clicker, his little suit. I don't know. I'll talk to Ashley about that. I'm sure if she knows about this, she's going to kill me. Um, like that Bryson made an appearance. Gosh, these are so cute. Thank you all so much for these really kind comments. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I have the sample that Rachel stitched for us. And so the sample is being stitched twice, as I have mentioned throughout the story. Well, not really the story, but I guess the introduction to the club. We are stitching it once on like a colored fabric for each individual season, and then again on a single piece of neutral colored linen. So here is our first chart, and we have the beautiful toadstool. Oh my gosh, I love it. So we have, of course, Marshmallow Marie in her dormer window. We have our cutie little fox. You can see he has made himself as a a fox snowman. I don't know how that goes. I don't know if it should be a snow fox. We'll call it a snow fox. We have some candles just in case they lose power. They might go do some cross-country skiing. So we have his skis. We have his ski boots. We have the typical bird that we think of during the winter, who is our cardinal. Our toadstool has icicles. I don't know that we could have crammed any more winter accoutrement into this chart. I love it so much. This one is a lot of fun to play with. I could definitely see stitchers changing the color of their toadstool top. Hildy wants to know, is the fox in every chart? The fox is in every chart. So yes. So here are some things I can tell you. So the toadstool, of course, is in every chart. The fox is in every chart. And then the visitor is in every dormer window. And so somebody emailed today and said, I love the animals in the window. I might stitch them separately as like a scissor fob. Can I fill in the mushroom top, or will it get like ruined or weird? No, you can totally fill in the top. You'd have to chart it yourself, but you could fill in the top and then stitch each little window separately, which I think is an adorable idea. Each chart will have a different motif at the top and the bottom, and these are going to be all seasonal. So they're going to relate to the season. So of course, this is winter. We're going to do spring, summer, fall. I don't want to say that fall is my favorite, but fall is my favorite. I love that one. But the things on the outside definitely will change. Like not each month has, of course, not a snowman. So let me give you a little sneak peek of spring. I went back and forth on if Ashley should send this to me because I just knew I was probably going to do something bad, like share too many sneak peeks. But just so you can get an idea, so this one is stitched on the blue fabric. I don't know the color name of this fabric off the top of my head. This one I know is chalkboard. So here's chalkboard. So let's show you. Let's do this. So here is a sneak peek of spring. So to answer Hildy's question, yes, the fox is always in it, and sometimes there's a guest. I heard a rumor that the spring, the inn has 2 guests. So that's pretty exciting. You can kind of see at the bottom how I showed you, there's a little bit of more seasonal elements. I don't want to get too crazy with the sneak peeks, but I want to show you a little bit of something because I know a lot of people it's hard to commit to a mystery stitch along, especially one that has as many thread colors as this. So one thing that is going to be a little bit different with this one, and I'm going to suggest that you buy the whole club because economically it makes more sense. But I can't remember if we said 1 week or 2, the PDF is already done. Stitchers will be able to buy the winter toadstool by itself, but it's more expensive. I think it's going to be either $7.95, $8.95, or $9.95. I should have made a note before I came onto the computer. But I personally would just spend the $12.95 and then I get 4. But it's up to you. On December 8th, the club is going to change from $12.95 to $14.95. So if you have a friend who's kind of like on the edge, I would suggest that they buy it before the club introductory pricing ends. We don't stitch again until March, but there's plenty of time, of course, to stitch winter because we know that starting in winter is kind of tricky because we have other stitching obligations, Christmas gifts, ornament swaps. I know some people are stitching stockings, sewing, knitting, etc. Not to mention just like the insanity of the holidays. So this way you have plenty of time, and none of the toadstools are holiday themed. I got a lot of questions about that. There's no holiday elements in any of them. However, if the interest is there for more stories featuring Finn and what Finn does seasonally, we have talked about and done some sketch mock-ups of what the toadstool would look like decorated for Christmas, Halloween, and I think 4th of July. So I'm not sure if those are going to come to fruition or not, but we'll see. So let's see. Oh, I thought I had the PDF. Oh, I do. Okay. All right. So stitching for this one is going to begin again on. Sorry, this PDF is chunky. The introductory PDF is pretty big. It has all the information you could ever want. So March 6th, we will release the spring toadstool. June 5th, the summer toadstool. And September 4th, the autumn toadstool. And we kind of did this so that way you have enough time to not only like enjoy the season, but stitch during the season, and you can display it as well. Because I know some people are going to stitch them by themselves, or some people are going to stitch them all on one fabric. I've heard so many great ideas. Somebody said that they wanted to do kind of like an oval flat fold where they were going to stitch it and then do some basting stitches around it, pull it as if you're going to mount it in a hoop, but on some soft foam core. And they were going to just like put it on one of the cute little easels and then change it out seasonally. I absolutely love that idea. That is so cute. I do feel like there is a lot of, I don't want to say a ton of stitching, but there is a lot of thread color changes, which some people feel like that makes them slower. Some people feel like it's faster because you get to finish each little element. I don't think it's a particularly challenging stitch. I had a lot of people say, is this appropriate for a first-time stitcher? Absolutely. I think basically any project is appropriate for a first-time stitcher as long as you give yourself grace, patience. I personally love to stitch on Ada. All of the samples are going to be stitched on Cashel, but you do you. And honestly, if somebody stitches this on Ada, please tag me so I can have Callie repost it because I want to see how cute it looks on Ada. Okay, all right. Wow. All right, got some comments. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. So Is the fox in every chart? Yes, Hildy, I already answered that one. Amy says, I can't wait to get started. I'm waiting on my fabric to arrive to start stitching. I can't wait to see what you pick, Amy. Jessica says, the fob is a cute idea. I also agree. I feel like this is something that I really love about Ashley's designs is, yes, the charts compared to other charts that you might find are a little more expensive, but I think that there's a great deal of room to like break elements apart and turn them into like a scissor fob or a little small like ornament. Like if this was up to me, like I would probably stitch just him as an ornament. Look how cute he is. And then you could just put a simple like, square as a border around him. It's like a little snowflakes. You know what I mean? It's adorable. Or you could just do, the I always forget that the camera reverses things. You could easily do the mailbox. That would be super cute too. And I believe I don't have all the charts in front of me. I should have, but I think that each oh god, I don't want this to come back and haunt me in case I'm wrong. I believe that each toadstool does have a mailbox, but it changes seasonally. Of course, it changes the color, that kind of stuff. Okay, let's see. I may have squealed out loud for the froggy prince. Thank you, Kylie. I hope that you like this. You have to do a Halloween one. Jack can come visit. Jack would love to come visit. Those two pumpkins are always up to all kinds of shenanigans. They would love to be involved in this one. Daisy girl, oh, hi. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you so much for reading to me. Love it. Takes me back to school when our teacher used to read to us. Super cute story. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Jeanette says holiday versions. Yes. Okay. Jessica says I'm here for the holiday toadstools. Our sweet friend Menagerie of Stitches says love the holiday themed idea. Thank you. Okay. All right. Jeanette wants to know, are you doing a year-long sale for 2026 too? Yes, we are. So I'm not allowed to tell you the theme, but I can tell you that we are wrapping up the final like revisions for it right now. It is a theme that we were going to originally release this year in 2025, but as you know, it's just been a crazy year and we weren't able to do it, which is a little bit heartbreaking because we've done them consecutively for 13 years, 14 years. So that is a little bit of a bummer to see that streak end. And it was not a decision that we made lightly. However, I feel like taking the time, it's crazy how much Ashley's design, like, because she finished it last year. So now we're looking at it again with like eyes that are a year older, more designs that she has under her belt. And it's an amazing chart, but now we've edited it and it's even better and I love it. So yes, we will have it. I think that we're looking at maybe around February to launch. The thing is we're trying to determine how to break it up into even stitching sections because it's kind of big, not huge, but it's got some. It's like these where there's a lot of smaller, cute details in there. So we want to make sure that it's not super overwhelming. So yes, we will have it. I don't know when it's going to release. The other thing too is we're kind of waiting to see how the end of the year goes in terms of just like finances. How much do we want to invest in these kits? How many people want to purchase kits? Are people looking more towards PDFs? Because we don't want to overinvest, but we also don't want to underinvest. And with tariffs, because all of the linen that comes from Europe, those are being subject to, I have to look at my email, but I think an 8% tariff, which I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're buying a lot of fabric at once, it adds up pretty quick. So there's that. Also, like the needles come from France, DMC comes from Europe. It's it's a lot. So I want to make sure that we invest in the correct amount, but not too many. And then because I know a lot of other needlework stores are slowing down their purchasing, I don't want to order less, assuming that supplies will be easy to find. And then everybody's kind of in a supply drought like 2020, because I don't want that to happen to our stitchers ever again. That was horrible. Okay. All right. So Hildy says, I think your charts have a great price. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. Jessica says, maybe for Patreon, could you show us how the 2026 SAL evolved from what Ashley started with, to what you actually release? Absolutely. I will say that Ashley I'm trying to think of how to describe this. So Ashley works in Adobe. She has, I want to say it's kind of like her sketch pad. And so she'll have like 25 small motifs finished to the side. and then she'll kind of drag them into where maybe like the border that she's already created is. And so there's a lot of moving pieces, and then there's a lot of cute things that sometimes don't fit, but they get turned into other charts, or they just kind of hang out until we remember them and then they get used in a new chart or an ornament. I could definitely do that. That would be so much fun, especially because I feel like it started with the layout being kind of a scene, like an actual like scene taking place, and then it ended up evolving into a vintage poster. I would say that that's where it's at. So it's a pretty big change, but that's a great idea. I would love that. Hildy says, when will the needle minder ship? Oh, the needle minder shipped on, let's see, what's today's date? Today is the 5th. They shipped and left California on Monday afternoon. If you have any questions about where your order might be, just send me an email and I can look it up for you. But I did notice that quite a few got stuck in Bakersfield, which is one of the distribution hubs here in California, for like an extra day or two. And then I noticed that some got stuck in Santa Clara, also Aurora, Colorado. Those are my 3 hubs that are kind of on my bad list right now because they seem to be taking forever. However, it's the holidays. I have empathy for postal workers. I can tell you that's a job I would not want to take on. But I really appreciate all they do. So yes, Hildy, don't worry, they've already shipped, and the tracking information should be updated. All right, Otter Disdain. Oh God, I'm never going to get over that name. Absolutely love the slower release schedule, the amount of colors, fabric options. Love, love, love. I'm stitching them separately on the Witchelt linens, 32 count. Oh, I would love to see them on 32 count. That will be absolutely so charming. I was selfishly hoping, I don't know if Chiara's here. She tends to stitch on 40 count. That would just about kill me too. I want to see it. I want to see them all basically. I like when people kind of take our charts and do their own thing with them. It's really awesome. Let's see. I showed you the sample. I showed you a sneak peek. I gave you a couple small hints. There are some Easter eggs in the story. I will tell you that in the prologue, I give a hint about an upcoming guest who's never been in a previous TFPS pattern. Let's see which paragraph it's in. In paragraph 2, in the second paragraph, there is a Easter egg about an upcoming guest in the Toadstool. I will also want to thank Christy and Belinda again. Like, I am not a writer by any means. I love to read, as of course you know, but my writing skills are dismal. And both of them have been like, oh my gosh, Amanda, this needed so much editing. So I'm on the wait list at the library for some like amateur writing books to make their job a little easier because I felt so bad. If you are part of our Patreon, or if you ever read my blog back in the day, or even if you read a newsletter, sometimes you can see I have a lot of ideas. I'm a big thinker, but I'm not very coherent, and my grammar, quite frankly, sucks. So there's been a lot, and they've been amazing, and they've rolled with the punches for this. So really huge appreciation to them. I'm going to show you how a chart looks like. Let's see. All right. So another new thing, actually, I want to mention this really quick. Another new thing that you will notice in the shared sorry, my refrigerator is cycling, in the shared Dropbox and in your Send Owl links is we have Pattern Keeper files now. Some awesome folks on Patreon worked with Ashley this summer to test Pattern Keeper. And so this is our very first club that we're offering Pattern Keeper. And I've heard this morning, I got like 4 emails within 30 seconds of people that were like, there's Pattern Keeper. Thank you so much. And so Ashley is slowly but surely working her way through updating previous patterns with Pattern Keeper links. If you are a Pattern Keeper user, what you're going to start to notice is throughout 2026 and 2027, you'll start to get emails from us, and it's just going to be your order from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery has been updated. The chart itself is not going to change. The only thing that's going to change is there will be an additional file within there for Pattern Keeper users to download. The only thing that we have noticed is that some of the symbols aren't transferring properly. So in some of them, Ashley has to re-symbol part of the charts. So any of those charts that won't be easy to do, those might take a little bit longer. But our goal is to have all of our charts pattern keeper friendly. I'm going to give us extra time. I'm going to say by early 2027. I know that's a long time to wait, but we have over 200 charts. Like we have something like 250 charts. And Ashley has a lot of designing to do. So, okay. All right. Let me show you how the color chart looks. So you start by opening up your PDF and you have one big, beautiful chart. So here it is. This is just printed on my home printer. I have nothing fancy. This is just print. I think I had it set print to scale. You can see we have, of course, borders with the rulers, center mark line. Center mark is in red, so you can see that. It's easy to see where the grids are. The symbols are all nice and clear. I really love how high quality this one is. So I don't usually suggest stitching from this one. This is mainly to give stitchers who like to grid their fabric or who want to see like the overall zoomed out image. This is for that. Like I wouldn't suggest stitching from this one unless you don't have the eyes of me. But if you do have vision issues like myself, don't worry, we've got you covered. So here is the big chart. So we expanded it. We went back and forth on how to expand it. Did we want to expand it over 2 or over 3? 3 was just so clunky. So 2 is where it is at. Whoop, just went backwards. So you can see these are big and beautiful. Very, very happy with how these come out. But if you are like many people and you do not have a printer at home and you print at school or in the office and you don't have color, that's okay. The exact same pages I just showed you come in black and white as well. I didn't print the color key or anything like that because I know the reality is most of us want to know the meat. Show me the meat. Show me the. That's kind of weird. This is live, so I can't edit that out. Show me the goods, I guess. Maybe not show me the meat. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, so this is how they come out nice and big, and you can really, really, really stitch easy. And at night, it's winter. It's hard to see. Like I was knitting last night, and I have like a little like lamp on. I got some lamps over here, and I'm just like, I can't see. So I am a daytime crafter. I don't know about you, but I want to make our charts as easy for any time of day crafters as possible. All right, let's see. Honor Justine, 100% into holiday B&Bs. Also, the fob idea is a wonderful way to stitch a super cute element twice and carry it with you on other projects. I have made so many from FPS charts. Obsessed. LOL. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's very kind. Hildy says, ooh, your needle minder is in LA. Maybe I'll get it before Christmas. Definitely. So I think that the international hub is in Los Angeles. So wouldn't that be amazing if it comes before then? We've got some time. So it's December 5th. I'm crossing my fingers for you that it will arrive before Christmas. All right. Amy says, the pattern keeper files are great. I love being able to travel with my stitching and not worrying about forgetting a paper pattern. Thank you for that extra work. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you're liking them. We ended up downloading, I think Ashley downloaded Markup X, and we both loved how the patterns look like on a shelf. And then we heard from one of our stitching friends, Melissa, and she suggested formatting the cover a little bit differently. So I don't think that the Patreon patterns will look the same when you import them into Pattern Keeper as Toadstool will. But she did update the Patreon charts. I just need to edit them as well. So basically, it doesn't impact the chart at all. It's just how cute the cover looks in your like project overview area of Pattern Keeper. I don't have Pattern Keeper and I don't have Markup X, so I'm just kind of going off of customer feedback and Ashley. So I'm doing my best here. If anyone has any questions, like I was planning on being here until 1 o'clock and I somehow have answered everything in enough time. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to chat. I also, oh, you know what? I would like to share a small sneak peek with you. Let me show you this. So I know a lot of you are in the, let's see, the Black Needle Society. I always want to say, is it Black Work Needle Society? The Black Needle Society box, and there is a box that Ashley has contributed to, and I have a picture of the sample. I asked Catherine Katie if it would be okay if I told you, and she said that people already know that we are, I think it's the January or the February box. So I'm going to show you a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of that chart. Um, I don't know if there's room to join. I know that they tend to sell out pretty quick because this is a design that they actually buy from us. I don't think that we can ever sell it again on our website, but it sounds like sometimes people will like destash their boxes. I saw some people talking about that. Let me see a little bit. I don't want to give away too much, but I really want to show you this. So it's going to be on my phone because I don't want to get into too much trouble. But here is a cozy little scene for the Black Work Needle Society. Um, Ashley works one-on-one with them. I'm not really part of their email threads or anything. I just know that I believe the theme of the box was snow day stitching or winter stitching. And so here's our little contribution to that. The sample came out so cute. And I don't know what Ashley has been doing. Like, I don't know if she's drinking a different water. I don't know if she's using a different face mask at night. Whatever she's doing, her designs have been so like extra cute little teeny tiny details in them. And I am obsessed with them. Every time she sends me like, oh, what do you think of this little snapshot of this? And what do you think of this? I'm like, where did this come from? Like, she's always been good at adding in little small details, but I feel like it's interesting to see giant things like Fruit of the Month, who's like huge, with those big chunky fruits, or even Woodland Sampler. Woodland Sampler's pretty simplistic to now suddenly designs like this. Like, it's really, really cool to see the evolution of her. And I will always be her, what's the term that people use? Like a hype person. I will always be Ashley's hype person because you will have never, like, she works so hard. It was really funny. At last Jingle Ball, we were hanging out with Jody Rice of Satsuma Street in kind of like a live table so everybody could see that we were chatting with Jody and other stitchers were like hanging out and stuff. And Jody said, well, if Ashley basically does all the stuff, like, what do you do, Amanda? And sometimes I ask myself, I'm like, what do I do? No, I definitely sometimes am the person who's like, can we please do this? And it's amazing to see. I wonder if I can show you some of my Procreate drawings. It's amazing for me to send Ashley this absolutely terrible scribble, and suddenly she turns it into like this incredible thing. I actually think I might have on my iPad my idea for the keychain that we did for this. Okay, all right, let's see. I got some questions coming in while Procreate uploads or downloads from the cloud, and I can show you those silly things. I can do these questions. Okay, different face mask at night. Yeah, I don't know. She's just doing something. She's got all that curly hair, like, I don't know, something about her. Her aura has grown. Like, she's just so good. Okay, Jennifer says, why did you decide to opt out of Jingle Ball this year? I was so disappointed I didn't join this year. Oh my gosh, Jennifer, that's the nicest thing ever. Okay, so I'm trying to decide like how personal do I get in this question. So let's see. I would say last November or October, I had an MRI because I'm having problems with a hip. That MRI showed that I had a bone lesion that's like pretty big and it could be cancerous. So I knew that right before Jingle Ball. Then I was getting different opinions if I needed another arm surgery, which would be like the sixth one to fix some nerve damage that I have on the left-hand side of my body. And then one orthopedist said I would need a whole brand new hip. Another orthopedist was like, no, we got to do something different. And then I found out that I have I think they call them, I always want to call it triad, which it's not called triad. Triad is like a gang. Trirad, it's like basically, I have a nodule on my thyroid that's likely to be cancer, but it's in a really weird spot, so they can't biopsy it. So I had all of these like health things right before Jingle Ball, and I had this very, very awkward conversation with Stephanie where I was like, Stephanie, I love you so much. I admire you as a businesswoman. I admire how much you have created this fantastic community. I admire Jingle Ball. If there is a chance that you are going to invite us next year, I don't think I'm going to be able to attend because I just have too many health things going on that are like up in the air and I didn't know. Um, and it's very awkward to have this conversation, right? Because I don't even know if we're gonna be invited because Jingle Ball is an invite only, event. It's not like you did it 1 year, so you're guaranteed to come back in, right? Like Stephanie curates who she wants. And so I had to say to her, "I'm sorry, but if you are gonna invite us, I can't go." And that was a pretty uncomfortable conversation because I didn't wanna take it for granted that we would be invited. And it ended up, being for the best because I've had hip surgery, I had arm surgery, I've had about 1,100 medical procedures, tests, and everything this year, and, like, it's totally fine. It doesn't stress me out at all. I'm very, very used to these things, so I'm not at all looking for sympathy, but I have had a lot of people who have thought, like, "Did Frosted Pumpkin, like, are is the business failing? They didn't do a 2026 stitch along or 2025 stitch along. They're not really sending out a lot of newsletters. Callie's doing social media. Like, what's going on with the business? Are they even going to Jingle Ball?" Someone asked on Facebook, like, "Are you guys still going to continue designing?" And I have felt so horrible that there has been like a lack of communication. But I also don't know, how much do I tell people? Because again, I mean, it's personal. I don't know that I'm looking for sympathy or support, but also I don't want people to think that like our business of 15 years is just gone, right? Because that's not the case at all. We're still very much working. We're still very much here. So I am really sad. I know that Jingle Ball starts today. I'm looking forward. I got myself a ticket so I can like lurk around. I want to support the other designers who went. I am sad. Like there is an awesome camaraderie that is the year leading up to a Jingle Ball. We meet on Zoom. We have like a group text. There's all kinds of work that Stephanie does. We film like videos. It's a really cool experience. And I have said before that Ashley and I, in the terms of like the cool kids of cross stitch, we are not the cool kids of cross stitch. We very much like we don't go to needlework markets. We stay home. We're like the homebodies. We're the indoor cats of cross stitch, and so we do miss out on a lot of opportunities. But I also feel like because we stick to ourselves, we can kind of do things on our own schedule. And I really just didn't want to let anyone down. Like I didn't want to say yes to Jingle Ball if we were invited and then not be able to like give our stitchers and Stephanie 155% of us because I know that Ashley would go above and beyond. She would cover my end of work. But that's not fair to her. Also, she broke her arm. She actually broke her elbow right after we got home from our trip, which was our first trip together. She broke her elbow and then it was terrible. Like they were worried that they were going to have to operate on her elbow and it was going to be a whole thing. Thankfully, she's okay. But she's our main designer. Like I don't know how to use Adobe. Like I have my example here. Here is one of my Clementine. This is like a very good one. But here is my example of what I wanted for the key fob. This is terrible. Oh, Ashley, can you do something with this? Like, I can't run this I can't run the Frosted Pumpkin without Ashley. So, at the end of the day, it was a really challenging decision. I'm sad because I miss meeting all the designers. I got to meet people I'd never met before, and they all really were kind. They welcomed Ash and I with open arms. We talked a lot about like business things with them. It was really cool. Like I think a lot of times when we think about lots of businesses or lots of women coming together, we imagine like catty or backfighting or drama, and this is not it at all. Everyone is super professional. Stephanie is incredibly organized. Stephanie puts in so much work in the Jingle Ball. I would not want her level of stress. Like she runs it with grace because I could never do it, but she's very, very hardworking. She really has put so much into this. And so I didn't want to be like the person who pulled that down. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I know that's a very long-winded answer. This is unfortunately who I am as a person. I want to be open and upfront, and also just explain things. Because, like I said, like it's a bummer when people think like, oh, there's drama. Stephanie hates the pumpkins. Stephanie, I mean, as far as I know, as of today, Stephanie does not hate the pumpkins. We do not hate Stephanie. It's just me, and it's kind of a bummer. It's a pretty big bummer. So I hope that answers things for you. It's an okay question to ask. It's not, you're not asking anything wrong. I don't want you to feel like, oh God, I shouldn't have asked. You absolutely could ask, because I have had so many emails this month of people like, hey, I didn't get a chance to sign up for your class. And I'm like, there wasn't a class this year. So there's that. I hope that helps. Okay. So let's see. Jessica says Ash leveled up. She did level up. That girl, she's so great. Okay. Jennifer says, thank you for sharing. I knew your health issues were bad this year, but thanks for sharing. Yeah, of course, for sure. I mean, it sucks. Like, but it is what it is. I'm very thankful that I have A, health insurance. Very thankful. B, a job that lets me work from home, because not everybody has that. C, all of you, because I mean, let's be real, like you buy patterns and therefore I pay my bills. Like there's a relationship there. And, I'm very fortunate that I have Ashley and my husband. They both are very, very supportive. Nicole has been fantastic. She's always fantastic, but she has been absolutely clutch at just getting orders out, sorting through orders. We just recently upgraded our printer. So if you've ever ordered a printed pattern from us, we have a giant like industrial printer that we lease, and we got the chance to upgrade it. So we upgraded it. So Nicole's been working with that, and it's really, I really rely on the people around me a lot, and I'm very fortunate that they're all awesome. All right. Jessica says A plus drawing. Thank you very much. Yes. Magical anime stitcher. I love that name. You're the introverts of cross stitch. We will miss you, but we understand. Yeah. So Ashley is for sure the introvert. I am the extrovert. That was one of the things that I said to Jody. I was like, well, here's the thing. I'm kind of like the mouth of the business. Like, I don't know that Ashley would feel comfortable doing something this, but I will say, when we go places together in person, when we did the show in New Jersey, people flocked to Ashley. There's something about her like calm, gentle demeanor, all that beautiful curly hair, those dresses. People were just like, will you sign my pattern? Oh, Ashley, I love you so much. Like people were so in love with Ashley. And I'm like, see, I told you, you are the best person in the entire world. Whereas I am with like four people who are also loud, and we're stressing everyone else out around us. So Ashley's kind of like the calm within the storm. So she talked to so many people in New Jersey, and she was really just like outgoing. And I said to her like four different times, I'm like, I'm so proud of you, because I know that you are an introvert and you are probably going to sleep like you're dead at night, but you're killing it. And yeah, it was awesome. So she's introvert, I'm extrovert, obviously, because I'm loud. Okay, Amy says, I appreciate you letting us know what's going on. I worry about you and Ashley when I don't hear from you. Oh my gosh, I've been a customer for so many years, and I'm so happy business is doing well. Amy, don't make me cry. It's a Friday at noon. We can't cry. I feel like you have to cry like off the clock or something, but thank you. That's very, very kind. I know it's a weird balance, because we do have people who have stitched with us for like literally since day one. And but I also don't want to be the person who's like, I think the term is like vague booking, where you like write something cryptic and people are like, are you dying or did you just like get a cold? Like I don't want to be that person either. So there's definitely a balance, and I'm working on figuring it out, kind of doing my best. One thing I desperately want to do during this break is I really want to get back on our Discord. I started a Discord this summer with all of the intentions that I was just going to chat, and it was going to be awesome. But I got so nervous about it. I don't know why, but Discord makes me nervous. So I feel like I need to break the ice and go back on Discord, because everybody on there is really nice. Right now, the Discord is available for people who are part of our Patreon. I think you, of course, still have access to it. Yeah. I want to get back into it, because I love getting to know all of our stitchers. Like I know that there's a lot of like commentary and things right now about like parasocial relationships and how do they work when someone's like on the internet and everything. But I will say some of like the nicest people I've ever met have been people who have stitched our patterns, and even people who don't stitch our patterns. Like we have some longtime newsletter people who they just sign up just to see what we're doing. Like, they have literally never bought a thing, and they'll just write in and be like, "Hey, girls, I love today's, like, newsletter. Keep up the good work." And I'm like, "Thank you." Like, it makes me feel really good. Like, so it doesn't matter to me if someone buys something or not. It's cool to make connections, I guess is what I'm saying. And in New Jersey, that felt really special because I hadn't met so many, like, Stitchers in real life before. And I would say, I mentioned this on Patreon, like 90% of the people at that show had no idea who Frosted Pumpkin was. They were like, "We don't know who you are, but Jim invited you." They call him Jimmy. "Jimmy invited you. And so we wanted to meet you." And it was really sweet. And then I met this one woman who was from New York. And I swear to God, I wanted to adopt her as my auntie. And she came over and she's like, "Frosted Pumpkin, I love your stories. I watch them all on Jingle Ball. You got to write more." And I'm like, oh my God, I just met my soulmate. She was such a hoot and I loved her. And if it was up to me, I would be like traveling all the time. However, Ashley would be like, "We are absolutely not doing that." And my body would be like, "We're not doing that." So there's a little bit more like behind the scenes. I don't know if anybody cares, but it's fun to share that with you. So my goal is to open my mail. I have a lot of packages. We have a public PO box that people will, it's very sweet. We get a lot of thank you notes. I typically open those, but sometimes we get presents and I don't open those because I have package anxiety, which I mentioned on Patreon. So my goal during this winter break is to open any packages I have received that I was not expecting, which I'm really nervous about, and get back on Discord. So if you log into your Patreon account and you are part of Frosted Pumpkin as a paid or past paid subscriber, you should be able to link your account, your Discord, to your Patreon, and it will put you in our Discord. My goal is to get on it. I'm scared, but we're going to do it, right? Like we can do all things when we have a community behind us. All right, let's see. Hildy says, okay. So Hildy says, "I just bought the digital subscription from the Black Needle Society. How could I say no to a Frosted Pumpkin pattern?" Okay, so I didn't know that was even an option. So I'm excited. Hildy, I have a feeling that you're going to change the main character in the pattern to a cat. You could do that. It's not a cat, but you could turn it into a cat, I think. Yeah, it's going to turn into a cat. I know you, Hildy. Not that I'm being creepy, but you like cats. I know this about. Actually, I'm wearing a I'm wearing a t-shirt that says, "I'm more of a cat person." So I'm right there with you. Let's see, what else can I tell you about? I think that might be, gosh, pretty much everything. I just yacked your ears off for an hour. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do have the comments on a little bit of a delay because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. But I'm going to try to wrap it up here in a minute, but I want to see if any questions come in. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat and I'll see them before I log off. But I just want to also say a huge thank you for everybody who came by today. It means so much to me that I have familiar faces and I know I see some like names of people that are lurking, and I appreciate you being here. And I also don't recognize some names. So hello, and thank you for hanging out with me. I am going to leave this video up, so if people want to watch it, they'll be able to. I don't know how it works, if people can see the chat. So maybe I'll look into that. But I will do my best to answer any questions and the comments on YouTube. My real big goal this year is to answer comments in a more timely manner. Callie answers them on social media if I am unavailable. And so this year I'm going to try to post, I think, more on YouTube because I was hearing from a lot of Stitchers that they're trying to move away from Meta. So less Facebook and less Instagram. It seems like today YouTube worked great. So that worked good. I'll try that in the future. I'm looking forward to being able to like go into my office. I am currently like, I can't walk yet. I'm in a walker and my office is just, it's so hard to navigate because it's very narrow in a walker and my chair isn't the right height. Like I can't sit on my couch or anything yet. This is my kitchen table and I love that I am out of bed. So I had all these plans of what I was going to do for the snow globes. I had all these videos planned and I just felt like an idiot filming them for my bed. So there may be some like Halloween content in January that might come up, but I'm really enjoying how easy the YouTube is. So we'll give that a try. If you are going to Jingle Ball this weekend, I hope you have so much fun. I want to hear all about it. I want to see what you bought. I'm here for the I'm here for the secondhand dopamine, because I know that you're going to have the very best time because Stephanie puts so much work into this. Um, okay, thank you. Magical Anime says, yes, the chat pops up in real time when you watch a live recording. Cool. Thank you for telling me that. I am the least tech savvy person, so that's exciting. Jessica says Halloween year round. I know you would say that. Of course, you're my Halloween friend, my Halloween and autumn friend. Jessica, actually, I'm not going to say where they live, but they sent me text messages of the aurora borealis, and I was doing my physical therapy at the time. I get to spin for 20 minutes a day, and I'm there, pedaling, and all of a sudden my phone pings and I look over and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this, it's beautiful. And then my mom came over and I was like, Mom, look at these pictures. So that was awesome because I didn't get to see the aurora here in California, but that was exciting. Okay, Hildy says, ooh, this is a great one. All right, Hildy says, how many characters / animals are totally in Toadstool? Okay, so you're gonna have Finn, who's our fox. He's gonna come in every single Toadstool. So there's 4 different versions of him. And then each season will have a visitor. So we had Marshmallow Marie for winter. There are 2 visitors of the same variety, species. It's an amphibian. So there are 2 amphibians in spring. They're not creepy. They're not spooky. If I scare you with the word amphibian, don't be scared. And then we have a single avian visitor. Yes, I'm trying to think of the chart. Yes, a single avian visitor in summer. And then autumn has a single visitor. Hildy, it's a cat for you. It's not really that big of a spoiler because I'm also a cat person. I want everybody to know there's a cat. As far as I remember, there's a cat. I might have to double check in Dropbox because we were torn on if we were going to do a cat or a mouse. So I think it's still a cat. I'd have to go in and check. But so that's a total of 4 foxes, 1 rodent, 2 amphibians, 1 avian visitor, and 1 mammal. Well, a bunny is still a mammal. Okay, so yes, that's what we have. Does that even help? I don't really think that answered anything. But again, if people don't want to stitch the little guys, these secondary guys, like it's not gonna be terrible. It's gonna be so cute either way. You can easily fill this in. And I will say, like I said, the Toadstool top does change colors how we have charted it. A couple people said that they had like a favorite red, and could they use it throughout the entire project? Yeah, absolutely. You totally can. I want you to do what you want to do. It's your project. So here is a little, oh boy, let's try to do another little sneak peek. So here is the Toadstool on 2 different colors. So you can see we have like the darker, backwards, Amanda. We have the darker one for winter and then like a brighter one for spring. And so the Toadstool cap does change seasonally along with the, I don't want to give too much away, along with the things that are like attached to the top of the Toadstool. Those change as well. So yeah. You can absolutely take those little cuties out if you wish to solidify your Toadstool lid. I call them the lids of the Toadstool. Technically, it's a roof. I did try to look and see if Toadstool lids, tops, change seasonally in real life because I wanted to follow nature as much as possible. That's not how toadstools work at all. So that wasn't an option. So we just went with whoever like looked best seasonally. So you can absolutely change those. Yes to all the cats. Also, there was one that I really wanted to do because it's summer. I was kind of thinking, what do we think of when we think of summer? Summer is my least favorite season of them all. I wanted to do desert, but desert looked really weird surrounded by a toadstool. I'm almost thinking about asking Ashley if we can release the desert maybe like on its own because she loves the desert. I love the desert, but we ended up going with something a little bit more, I don't want to say traditional because it's not really traditional, but something different for summer. So same, boo summer, exactly. Summer is like, I don't know. I know people in my life who are like, I love summer. I love when it's 100 plus degrees. And I just look at them and I'm like, we are very different people. I love being outside, and it's hard to be outside when it's, 100 plus degrees. No one wants to do that. But yeah, so I do have a lot more ideas for these. I'm planning on taking a little time this winter to learn a little more about writing, so that way poor Christy and Belinda don't have to deal with, 1,100 pages of edits for my stories. Don't worry, I will never be quitting my day job to become a writer. I'm trying to think of what else I could tell you. Oh, am I allowed to talk about books really quick? If you're not into books, you can totally exit out. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I have been reading. Oh, well, let me back up a little bit. Okay, so I knew I was gonna have surgery this summer. It ended up getting put off, and it was really weird. I had this list of like, okay, I want to accomplish these things, and I wanted to get back to blogging. I have a blog that I used to love. I miss the days of blogging, so I was going to blog. I was going to share books that I read more often in our Instagram stories. And then I wanted to read more nonfiction. I wanted to knit. I had like this big list of things that I was going to do while I was recovering from surgery. I ended up doing none. But I have noticed that there is a trend right now, and my friend Julie actually just texted me about it, about people who are creating like their own curriculums or research papers for fun and things like that. And I think my goal of 2026 is going to be I'd like to read 6 nonfiction books. So if you're reading this, uh, whether it's right now or after this video premieres, and you have a nonfiction book you think is readable, like I think that I'm an intelligent person, but nonfiction, sometimes I feel like I just don't get it. So I would love to hear any nonfiction book recommendations. I have a couple. I'll just read some titles really quick to you. I feel like I'm always like living on borrowed time here because inevitably someone leaves me a comment and they're like, stop talking about stuff we're not interested in. I'll never forget my second month at Patreon. Second month of Patreon. Someone like unsubscribes, which is fine. But this time it like notified me that the person had left a comment why they left. And they left and they were like, I was here for cross stitch. This person only talks about books and themselves. And I was like, oh my God, I feel terrible. So I'm going to keep this pretty brief, but I want to tell you some nonfiction books I want to read. Maybe you want to read a nonfiction book, or if you've read a nonfiction book, you can give me some suggestions. What I've done is I have made in Libby a list of TBR nonfiction. And then if I see something that looks appealing, I'm saving it. So I have Girl on Girl by Sophie Gilbert. It talks about how basically like the girl power feminism of the 90s, like what the heck happened to it when we hit the 2000s. Sorry, that's my husband coming inside. He's looking at me like, can I come in? You can come in. I'm still filming, but you can come in. You're okay. There's one called Neurodivergent by Nature, and this talks about how neurodivergent people interact with nature. I'm always curious how other people interact with nature, so I really want to read this one. A Smartphone Nation. I'm curious, why are we so addicted to smartphones? I can tell you that I feel like my brain rotted recovering from surgery because all I did was scroll on eBay and Pinterest for like 2 months straight, and I don't think my brain's ever going to recover from that. The Ghost in Autumn. This is it's a mystery, but it's not. It's about polio, the polio epidemic. And then Bigger Than Fashion. So this is about fashion subculture of street style. So like Supreme and brands like that, how they influenced fashion as a whole. The Devil Reached Toward the Sky. This is about the atomic bomb. Somebody is walking on your grave. This is about funeral customs in different cultures. Personal Color. This I thought was kind of interesting. It's about finding your seasons and your best colors. I don't know how I feel about books like that. I always see like the apps where people will like take a picture of their face and then they put different colors on themselves. I don't know if I believe in those things, but I thought I'm up for trying anything new. It's a book. I mean, what's the worst that happens? Up in Arms. So Up in Arms is about the standoff that happened between the FBI and cattle ranchers in Oregon. And I don't know that I want to read that because I think it's going to be really upsetting, but I feel like I should read it. The Ride, which is all about Paul Revere. I am a huge fan. That doesn't sound right. I mean, I'm very intrigued by the American Revolution. I grew up in Massachusetts. When we went to New Jersey, we went up through Massachusetts, and it's the anniversary of Paul Revere's Ride. And I loved being able to walk around Boston and see the historic landmarks and really just stuff doesn't change. And it's funny because I know some of you are in Europe, so you're like, please, you have no history, and you were 100% right. But Boston has really beautiful old history. I cannot wait to watch the new Ken Burns film about the American Revolution. But you have to be in the right headset for. I just realized all the things I'm suggesting to you are really, really bleak. So maybe I might need some like uplifting nonfiction in the midst of this. There's also one called Fat Talk, which is about basically like the daily onslaught that people who are in larger bodies feel every day on a regular basis being an American. There's one called The Genius Under the Table, which I'm pretty curious about. And I don't, this is actually a children's book. So it's a juvenile nonfiction. And it's about a person who grows up in the Cold War of Russia and then immigrates to America and their experience. I feel like I have a good amount here, but even saying them all out loud, I'm like, why am I so grim? I might need a couple like more happier ones. Oh, there is a more like happy one. I got one that's all about home cafes. It's more of like a recipe book, but isn't it pretty? The home cafe. So if you have any nonfiction books, please let me know. I don't really. I know a lot of people start the year with like a goal, like I'm going to read 25 books or whatever. I don't. I used to set it to 50, but I don't really care about that anymore. I really just want to try different things. I recently read Hamnet, which my friend Emily was like, we should read this. And I was on the fence because Emily is an English major. She's one of the most articulate, well-read, smartest women I know in my life and have the privilege of being her friend. And I'm just thinking she's going to get all these things that I'm just not getting in this book. I don't read literary fiction. I always feel like literary fiction goes over my head. I don't get it. However, Hamnet, I got it and I read it and I absolutely devoured it. I loved it. It was heartbreaking, it was sad, but it was also beautiful, and there was a way that she wrote about nature that was just absolutely to die for. I thought it was going to be all about Shakespeare, but it was not at all. It's more about the relationship that a woman has with her family, herself, and nature, and it was really beautiful. So now I'm kind of like, am I brave enough to try more literary fiction? I don't know. And then sometimes I like to hurt my own feelings and I will read old romance novels, and yeah, publishing has changed, but changed in some ways, not always, but changed in some ways. This one book, oh my gosh, it hurt me as a person because everything was like, we're talking about how tiny the heroine is and how little she eats and how fit she is. And I'm just like, I am not here for any of this. This is 2025. Like, bodies are bodies. Like, just let the girl live. It doesn't matter. She's gonna get with the guy. Like, any of that. It was really annoying how things used to be written. So, I also got one, and I just got this last night. It's called Night Watch, and I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce the author's last name because he's Russian, and it looks like this, Night Watch. I gather that it came out in the 90s and it was a fantasy hit in Russia. I think that there are 4 or 5 books. Fantasy, it's urban fantasy, which I love urban fantasy. Uh, Oh, apparently it became a movie, supposedly. I don't know if it's available in the US, but apparently it became a movie. I'm dying to read it, but I wanna have a little bit more brain power before I go into this. I've gotten really into reading fantasy books that, take place in, like, the Slavic area or Slavic folklore because I know nothing about it, and so I'm enjoying it. Another thing I forgot to tell you when I was telling you the inspiration, oh gosh, I can't believe I did this. I wish I could edit this. Um, Ilona Andrews, of course, influenced the Toadstool. She has a whole series called The Innkeeper. If you are, if you are, I guess, looking for something to binge this winter break, Ilona Andrews, The Innkeeper series. It's available as an audiobook, a regular book, a manga, and then a graphic audio. And the graphic audio is really fun, except there are times when like the two main characters kiss and you hear the kissing noises on the graphic audio and it's a little bit cringe, but they're very entertaining. I love to listen to them like while I'm crafting or doing dishes or whatever. But that was one, I can't believe I didn't say that. So, of course, Alona Andrews. I love everything that they write. And they wrote the reason why I'm saying that is because Alona Andrews, I think Alona is, she might be Russian. And they wrote a short story last winter that was Eastern European, and I absolutely devoured it. So, okay, gosh, I blew it on that one. All right, let's see. Yes to books. Do you count memoirs as nonfiction? Yes. I don't think I've ever read a memoir. I almost, I almost got Steph Curry, Stephen Curry, basketball player. I almost got his book because I just think he's really cute and I feel like he would have some nice things to say. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know about him until one of the members of BTS like met him and I guess loves him. And so then I was like, who is this Steph Curry person? And my husband's looking at me like, you are a dinosaur. So let's see. Okay. All right, here we go. I love your book top. Those people can just stop watching. I mean, it was fine. In their defense, like if you're paying a fee for something, you should be getting what you're paying for. So it was on me for asking people to pay for cross stitch and then doing like a bait and switch. So that's 100% on me. I was not at all mad about it. I had a moment of, oh, this was like the come to Jesus moment that I needed to like get my Patreon back in order. All right, let's see. I highly recommend Wild Swans, 3 Generations of Women in China. Yes. Okay. Through Traditional China, Revolution, and Modern. One of my favorite memoirs. Okay, I am absolutely writing that down because that sounds right up my alley. I did read and absolutely devour Pachinko, which is, of course, it's Korean, so not at all the same thing, but it's a family saga like that, and I loved it. I wasn't sure if I would enjoy generational tales like that, but it turns out they're very much in my wheelhouse. So thank you so much for that. Wild Swan. Sorry, I'm putting in my phone. In my phone. Okay, let's see. Okay, yes, on extra toadstools, the desert one sounds so interesting. Book talk, yes, anytime. I'll fire up the old blog as well. I miss those times. The amphibians are going on 40 count fob. Yeah, so I was thinking a lot about this. I talked about this with my friend Emily a lot, is how we miss the old internet. I actually have a book by Cory Doctorow about the unshitification of the internet. That's literally the book title. And I'm very curious about that because I feel like we were promised a cool internet and we are kind of in a crap internet now. So I really miss the days of blogging. And so I was looking at this summer, do I create a personal Substack where I talk about books and can do that and I'm not getting in trouble for going off topic, or do I fire up my blog? Like I've been thinking a lot about this because I do, as an extrovert, have a need to share. And I also, there are some people who I really look forward to their, I subscribe to one Substack. Her name is Becky. She used to make enamel pins and she just shares like it's a Tuesday and I did some thrifting and I went out with my son and I got this Pokemon card. I don't have very many things in common with her, but I just really I like just getting an update on a stranger and seeing a glimpse into their life and being like, yeah, you had a great day today. Like, I'm really glad that you got that. And I like giving her like, I don't know, the $8 a month so I can just continue to read these bits and pieces of someone's life because it feels like we kind of have lost the social aspect of social media. All right. So, oh, Kylie says, wait, what was the name of the fantasy one? You need to publish a list now. Oh no. Okay. So probably Night Watch, this one. Excellent. I cannot wait to do it. Oh, and I also got a manga to try too. The Witch and the Mercenary. So we'll see if I can. I'm trying new things. So Night Watch for that one. Let's see. Amy says, I love Alona's Innkeeper series. Me too. It's the best one ever. I really enjoy it. I love the graphic audio of it. I find it really fun to listen to. I recently discovered Spider Solitaire. So I spend a lot of time because I have to keep my leg flat often. I spend a lot of time playing Spider Solitaire and listening to graphic audiobooks on my iPad. That's been my new thing lately. And it's pretty relaxing. It's not terrible. I hope that you also like graphic audio because they are definitely hit or miss. When I first started, I was like, this is dumb. This is cheesy. But now I'm like, yeah, I like it. I like it. I can embrace it. So if I'm hoping that people after the fact will watch this and leave some good comments and we can go through and we can read them all together. Maybe we can even talk about them on Discord. Maybe I can create a I think I might have. I might need some Discord help, but I think I can create like a book chat where we don't have to necessarily all be reading the same book, but we can be reading our own books and sharing book thoughts and talk about the internet and how it's changed. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, it's 1:30. I'm talking too much. I've had a really nice time hanging out with you. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to Finn's story. Thank you for stitching Finn. If you never finished Finn, thank you for just coming by and hanging out with me. It's been great to see some familiar names, familiar faces. It always makes me feel so much better when I know at least I have one person in the crowd who I know. So thank you so much for that. I might share a really great Substack post from a cookbook author that I follow, Julia Thurston. I think that's how she pronounces her last name, who talks about how holidays are coming up, but you don't have to celebrate them. You don't have to like cook a big meal if you don't want to. You can avoid family if they stress you out. Like a good thing because I know this time of year can be hard for a lot of people. So I may share that because it's a good reminder for this time of year. So if you're having a hard time this winter, I see you, and I hope Finn in this video brought you a little joy, a little comfort because you can get cozy without, having to deal with too many family members. Hopefully you have a little special nook in your house that you can escape into. All right. I'm going to sign off. Again, thank you so much for hanging out. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll try to link. I think I already linked to Toadstool and everything. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I will see everyone soon. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.